And that is the valedictory address by General Shankar Roychowdhury, Chief Guest, former Chief of Army Staff and Member of Parliament. May I request you, sir, for your kindly giving us this opportunity to hear you on this subject.
What time is your flight?
Tomorrow
flight is
I'm actually at the airport at 5:50.
Oh.
I'm at departure 5:50. I'm reporting about.
You're going to be there quarter past. You should be there now.
Yes.
Would you like to sit in? Would you like to sit in?
15-20.
You can?
Yes.
That's fine. Okay. Actually calling this a valedictory address is a, bit of an overstatement, because I really was not part of the contract. I was supposed to come here and release the book, and that's all. But I've been listening, and my major comment is that the tone and tenure of the discussions that we are having have not changed since the time I was in the army, when I left the army as a general, and that was 20 years ago. So that is the problem with us. What we are saying, I think almost word for word, we've had so many discussions in those days also. We have been shouting and we have been banging our heads, and 20 years later when I come back on the kind invitation of VIF, the discussion is exactly the same. So it seems we are going nowhere. It seems we are going nowhere. But everybody is saying, which I am not in the picture about, that for the last 2 years there's some changes coming. As I said, I'm not in the picture. I wouldn't know, but we do need a change. Now, why are we in this stage? I think it's not a question of technology or what is technology, what is science, what is production, etc., etc. There are many. The main thing is of attitude. Attitude. What attitude? We are trying our best to ensure that the production facilities of the whole country, public sector, private sector, etc., are all put together. Now, why do we have a public sector at all? We have a public sector for a very good reason, and you must know and appreciate it. The public sector was started off back in 47, 48 onwards, for a very good reason, that we had no heavy industry, zero. And the government of that time, for better or for worse, the private sector was minuscule. I think there are a few big names now, but even they were, really minnows. They couldn't really establish themselves as a giant private sector company. You quoted some American firms, it was not there. So it was decided, and I like to think for the benefit of the country, that at that time, to force feed, to force down our throats the fact that we had to have heavy industry. Then we had this, SAIL and Bharat Electronics and BHE, the same things that we are knocking down. These were a necessity, and they were said to you have to do it, because private sector at that time was not capable of coming forward, except for, as I said, few. Now, the problem is it was a very good idea. Then that gave us a huge heavy industry framework. I mean, how many, like BML, Bharat Electronics, these are major facilities that this country has got, which few people have got. But, what did we get? The problem is, as I said, attitudinal. When we established these public sector industries, they became another government department. As a result, all the things we are talking about today are really a hangover of 47 onwards, and unless that changes, nothing is going to happen. We have the knowledge, we have the eagerness, we have the, we want to get on with it, we feel frustrated, but somehow, now, contracts, blacklisting, If today there is a contract for a big contract, let's say for an aircraft, suppose we start making an aircraft. The Ministry of Defence, and let me assure you, though there are private sector representatives here, the Ministry of Defence will tend to give it to a public sector company. Why? Because it is safer. Because it is safer. Day after tomorrow, I will write a column in the Telegraph, which is published in Calcutta, that, oh, there's a huge contract being given and it has been given to this company. And there will be then people saying, make an inquiry, this, that, and the other. You are seeing it all over the place. There's a scam. Therefore, the government, the secretary, the people there say, Baba, theek hai, I'm going to give it to Bharat Electronics or whatever, so that when the scam comes up, I say, look, I gave it to a government sector. You want to sort out anybody, go and sort them out. I did not give it to Tata's or Larsen & Toubro or somebody else. And certainly I didn't go abroad. That is the basic problem with us. And that problem, so far, does not show any signs of going away. Unless the present government, which has come in its first 100 days, people are talking about, unless that is changed in the first 100 days, I wouldn't know. But I keep hearing what people saying there's been a change in the last 2 years, 3 years. Good. What I've been seeing is blacklisting. What I have been seeing in the papers as an outsider who at one time was in the army, all I'm seeing is that when you are trying to get something new which you require, so-and-so company gave a bribe, blacklisted. Until a stage had come when every major equipment supplier in the world was blacklisted. Fine, that's very good. Can you make it yourself? That also you can't do. So what on earth do you want to do? So that's one. Unless this attitude of public sector versus private sector is removed, genuinely removed, we are going to be in the same mess. Then we have to now defense procurement. Defense procurement really should be, defense procurement, if you take it to a ridiculous minimum, like going to a, kirane ka shop, looking at what's on the thing, acha mere ko wo chahiye. Really speaking, if you want to buy an aircraft, you should go to a kirane ka shop in the world market and say A, B, C, D. Okay, that looks nice, I'll take that. Mind you, not so simple. And I think we've done a tremendous effort. This time, for the first time, the Air Force has done it. When they selected the Rafale, I think they flew every aircraft in the world. They flew every aircraft in the world.
Multi-vendor bias. First multi-vendor buy in the last 70 years.
Yes.
First multi-vendor buy.
Very encouraging. They flew and they sent a team of our crack pilots, and believe me, our pilots are damn good. And they flew every aircraft in the world and then say, look, and that's the service's job. We flew these aircrafts. Our priority is number 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you go and buy it. Number 1, everybody wants number 1. But number 1 is also, apart from being the best, it's also going to the most expensive. But if you want to buy the best, then comes your bargaining skills. You can then give Rafale for whoever it is, Dassault. Dassault, isn't it? Yeah, I'm a little out of date. That, okay, we'll give you this. You give us so much, this is what we want from you. We give you this contract, you will get the door frames made or whatever you made, the wing panels made, this, that and the other, made in India. The problem is, our private sector can't handle it. Is that right or wrong? Aap bataiye, you are the only genuine private sector person here. Is it correct that the private sector cannot handle these,
Sir, this is a long story, but the private sector can definitely handle many aspects of that thing. And in your RFP, then you had actually told the OEM that he has to select independently private sector. But at the last moment, unfortunately, work share wise, something's happened. It's all gone back to public sector again.
right? One example of that is, and I think I go along with Mr. Kora, one example of that is as far as Dassault is just not Dassault, sorry, this aircraft, Rafale. Dassault, that's right. They came and told India, the Indian government, look, we will make the aircraft for you, like you said, to make so many aircraft in India, but I don't want to make it in HA. We want to pick up the manufacturing, unit in India that we want, and we'll make it for you. But then again, that went into public sector versus private sector. With the change in government, I do not know. Now, I am very interested when the highest level in government says that I want 100% FDI. And that was discussed in great detail today. 100% FDI. What do you mean? Are you going to allow, do you want a giant foreign company to set up shop in India, manufacture what you want it to, and then take a portion of it and sell it outside to make its own profit? Or what do you want? In any case, from the discussion today, even if they come to India and they set up 100% manufacturing, they will never set up 100%. They will set up maybe 98, 97, because the 3% of the manufacturing capacity, which today was very clearly brought out by many people, they will not give you the black box, the inside of the black box. They will give you the black box. But what's inside the black box, they will never give you. That inside the black box has to be made in India. And who is going to make that? The only agency I can see is the DRDO. Unless there are some IITs which can make it, I do not know. Have we explored the market? Have we gone out to the market? There was a proposal here that you should call these youngsters and see what you can make. An M.Tech student can't really tell you what he can. You've got to make a serious effort to find out what can you make in the country. So, black box technology, and when the Navy, which is the leading service as far as indigenization is concerned, they say they make 70% of the ships, but the 30% is the weapon systems. And please correct me if I'm wrong, naval officers here, please correct me if I'm wrong, if you are making weapon systems in the country.
Underwater, yes.
Well, no, well, you know.
I mean, it's a long story. The DRDO has 4 labs, which are all underwater labs.
I agree.
The above water portion, there is no organization to produce them.
So whatever it is, yes.
So there's a
For the latest corvette, INS Kamorta, which was commissioned last month by
Yes.
Raksha Mantri,
Yes.
that has a 98% indigenous content.
What is that 2%?
I'll come to that. So
Yeah.
the 76 mm gun, the rocket launchers, the defense systems of the ship, chaff, and other electronic warfare, radar systems, both gunnery, missile guidance, everything is indigenous. There are a couple of critical systems, including the combat management system. Everything is indigenous. 98% indigenization has been achieved both by cost as well as quality.
What, tell me about the 2%?
Yes, one is a magazine firefighting system.
What is that?
It's a magazine
Firefighting system, okay.
No, it's a magazine firefighting system.
That is a system where ammunition is kept.
Oh, magazine firefighting system, okay, all right.
So that comes along with the ammunition which we get from outside.
Yeah, that even I know because my tank caught fire.
Sir.
And I know what that means.
You shouldn't have smoked in it, sir.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So that and similar some small sensors have been procured.
I believe they're critical. For example, which is the ship that you just launched, Kamorta, Calcutta. My home has been a chief. It's also a labor of intense frustration. Intense frustration. So I think but the end result must be very nice. I will go through it because I see a lot of sentences which I have heard for the last 20 years, so have you. So anyway, India's defense procurement, our salvation, including middle term and long term, indigenization, that is our salvation. We have to be Indian, buy Indian. And I don't mean it like a slogan. Thank you.